So I am in an event today with Vintage Country Crafting Friends Group. We started the day at 12 noon Eastern Time with Craftsy Carla, and she made some cute patriotic firecrackers out of wood. And then we had Jennifer from Studio J Company, and y'all, she did a really unique patriotic craft with, things you wouldn't think about, like hydrangeas and a beautiful red pattern paper, and it was just really unique. And then, hold on, let me turn that off. Then we had Lori from Lori Resiliently Crafting, and she did a patriotic sign with the eagle, and it was beautiful. And then we had Carrie from Sparkle Mountain Creations, and she did a steampunk picture, and it was very, very unique and different. So if you love different and unique things, she told on her live she's not quite ready for patriotic, so she went a different route. And that's the cool thing about having Crafter's Choice, is we don't have to all do the same thing. So then at 4 o'clock, we had Country Loving Market, and that was Beverly, and she was doing some beading. So if you like jewelry making, keychain making, that kind of thing, you definitely need to check out Beverly. She knows what she's doing there, and she shared some really cool, scary, little bit of a scary story about our dog yesterday. So go find out the details and watch her live. So, and now you have me, Angie. And Angie's a mess today. It's Monday. So, I've got, mine's patriotic, and that I'm going to do. I've been working while everyone else is crafting. I have a friend that her daughter is they're having a baby shower for her daughter this weekend, and I'm helping her a little bit with some of the decorations for it. And so I was working on a big poster board sign to make a welcome sign, and she's doing Winnie the Pooh theme. So I've been working on that since yesterday afternoon. I started it, and I'm trying to finish it today. So here we are. We're going to do a patriotic craft. So I had these already in my supplies. I had previously decorated 2 of them, and I've changed them up. I just went in and that's the cool thing about crafting. You can go in and change things. And I repainted them and got them ready. And we're going to decorate these. Yay! I'm so glad, Lori. Thank you. You're in a meeting, but here. Okay, that's fine. Thank you for being here. So, this is what we're doing, okay? So, I'm going to start with one. Of course, I'm going to start with one of the bigger ones. The little one is made differently. I'm kind of making these where they could be individual, but they could also be posed together as a decor project on a mantle or something. So they semi kind of match, and they semi kind of don't. Okay? I know that doesn't make a bit of sense, does it? So, I have some folk art paint that I'm going to use. I'm going to use folk art matte, and this one is called Lipstick Red, and this one is called Ultramarine Blue. Okay? So I'm using these 2 colors. I've already got the white because I painted the background white, and I got me a couple little dishes out, and I'm going to put me some paint out. Y'all, I'm trying to make myself open these the right way so I don't waste paint. I'm so used to not peeling the plastic off and just unscrewing the lid and pouring it out, and then I end up wasting so much paint. I'm trying not to be wasteful. Really am. So, try and get this plastic off this. Don't waste. And I don't hurt myself in the process. Because today's one of them days, I'm telling you. I was trying to put letters. I cut out letters out of vinyl for that sign. And I was making a big old mess. I think I'm going to have to cut another word. Hi, Jennifer. I loved your craft. I didn't see the finished part, but I'm going to go back and look. But I love the idea of what you did. You know, patriotic doesn't have to be stars and stripes all the time. It can be just the color scheme. Y'all forgive me. You know, I have to drink. Okay. So, I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to try my best. I'm not a good painter. I'm going to try my best to keep the inside white. We're going to see how that works. And I'm going to try to paint my edges red and blue. We're going to see how that works. And we're going to try to keep, because I want this brim to be red too, not just, but I want this inside part to stay white. Are y'all messy painters? I tend to mess up and then I just say, oh, just paint the whole thing red. Already got some. I could go back and touch up the white, I think. We're going to try. You didn't before? Oh, well, I'll have to go and see. I was in and out. You know how it is. You're in and out. And I didn't see your finish or anywhere near your finish, probably. And y'all, I don't feel like I'm alone in this. But a lot of times when I'm watching my crafting friends, even when I'm not in an event, just watching them, I'm doing other things. I've got that phone on and I'm listening. And when I hear them say something I want to comment about, I run over there and I comment, throw some hearts up, and get back to whatever I was doing. Cooking supper, washing dishes, doing laundry, whatever. Crafting. So, and I know that's what y'all are doing too. And that's okay. Some of you may be sitting down and actually watching. And some of you is doing other things. That's just part of it. I think what I'm going to do is make this one red and make the other one blue. Because I don't think if I combine the red and the blue together, it's going to look great. So they might be more of a set. They might be. So I have some really cute images that I'm going to use on these. And I'm like Lori. I recently came across vintage. Now watch me forget the name. I went and searched it. Vintage Country Roots, I think is her page. Anyway, she has free printables. I'll make sure that I pin it. I should have wrote it down. Well, I do that every time. And she does free, beautiful images. And everything on her page is free. Her group. And so, if you're looking for something, and she does such unique stuff, and I know I feel like she's using AI, but I don't really know that. I shouldn't say I know. But you know, when you know how to work AI, I've made a couple things that looked halfway decent, but you got to really know. You got to have a little skill when it comes to AI. To know how to word it, to get it to do what you want it to do. It isn't as easy as some people think. While Jennifer was crafting and she was talking about the printables she gets off of Etsy, which I believe if you can and you want to go on Etsy, you know, a lot of those people put their printables on there and they make them very reasonably priced. And some of them, that's their livelihood. So if you want to support. But if you can't support and you want to get a free printable, there are places you can get really good ones. I actually went on Etsy this weekend and bought a set of printable coloring pages for my Sunday school kids to color for their mom. I paid like $2. And there's like 12, I think it was 12 different coloring pages. Some of them had scriptures, some of them didn't. And my kids, loved coloring them for their mom. They were really cute. Like, one had a little owl, and it had little owls, and it had a cute little Bible verse for mom on there. And then some of them had birds, and some of them it was just a random. One had a deer on it. And one of my boys that's in my class, he colored it. He really took his time and colored. Sometimes they get tired of color and they'll just scribble. My crew, and he took his time and colored it. He had it all folded up with little arrows for his mom to know how to open it up. And he brought it and he said, "I want you to see it before I give it to mom." So I opened it up and looked at it. I said, "You did good." He said, "I colored that deer a little orange color, because the deer ain't all brown all the time." You also get beautiful from, yes, Crafty Basket Case does free ones too. There's a lot of cool places online, and I've created a few that I share on my page. If you ever see a graphic on my page posted, it's ready to go. I give instructions, tell you how to download it. Most of mine are made with Canva. I'm not good at the AI stuff. I have made a couple, but I'm not real good at the AI stuff. I tried to go, and while Jennifer was live, I was just curious if I went on the AI thing, because you can go on your Messenger app, and at the top, where it's got the AI thing, you can type in there and say, "Create this and create that." And you can tell specifics. So I tried to create something with hydrangeas. But all the ones that she would, or I say she, I don't know if it's a she or the computer, AI computer, would do was, they were like in vases. I'm live, baby. I'm sorry. Did I scare you?
I gotta go look at 2 jobs.
Okay.
We just had a call on 3rd and Blank. Doing it today.
Okay, baby. He came in here so abruptly. I thought he was asleep in his chair, and I was going to tell him I was going live, and I didn't want to wake him up. So I thought, oh, he hears me talking and thinks something's wrong. He had ran some errands today because he's in between. Well, he went to work on his job for a few hours. Didn't have a whole lot. He's just mud and sheetrock, so it has to dry in between. Then he ran some errands, and then he came home and said, "I'm taking a nap." So he took him a nap. Okay, y'all. I'm going to lay that right there just in case I decide I want to touch that up. That red is really bright. So, anyway, I tried, and it wanted to put them all in vases. And it'll put up a picture, and then you can type under it and say, change to watercolor. Or, I did a church one time, and it didn't have any flowers, so I said, place flower, I can't remember how I called it, containers of flowers by front door. And it put a thing of flowers on each side of the door of the church. You've got to be real specific with it. And it's time consuming. But it's work. It can do it. You can. So if you're on a tight budget, but if you can support a crafter that's doing, selling prints or images, some of them, that's their livelihood, and if you can support, if you can't, there are ways to make beautiful things. But I'm like Jennifer. I do go on Etsy sometimes and find different little things, and I found some beautiful biblical graphics that would be hard to create yourself. And they're really, really inexpensive. Very, very, very inexpensive. You know, like, and they put sales all the time. So you can get them for like a whole pack of images for like $2, $3. But you got to print them yourself. Now, if you need printed stuff, it's a little more expensive. Or if you want stuff printed on special papers and stuff like that. Okay. So, I got a little red there. And I'm not really loving that colored red, y'all. It's just not what I would like. I think I might put a coat of a different color that's not open. So if y'all are new to my page, I hope that you would follow and join me for, if you're watching this on replay, you would come and join me for live sometimes. Just watch my reels, anything like that. Facebook's made a lot of changes, and those reels and those pictures that we post, some of them help our page grow even more than this live does. Okay, I love this color of red. I think I'm going to take the time because I got the time. And I'm going to put a coat of this darker red. Now, this one is Imperial Red. It's got a little darker tone. I don't like the brightness of this. I'm more of a rustic person, and I'll probably add a little rustic flair to this anyway. Try not to get it everywhere. Yeah, this is the color I should have done from the beginning. It's a deeper red. I don't know if y'all can see the difference. This is a really bright, and that's a darker red. Let me refresh this. I'm missing stuff. Yes, that's right. That's what I do a lot of times. I add some of the distress ink or something to it at the end and make it look more rustic after you get your paint on. But I like this darker red. That other red just looked way too... I need to put more. That way I don't pick up that other more than I'm picking this up because I use the same container. See, I've took the lid off this so much and poured it out with so even though I just took the plastic off, it's been a well-used color. So I hope everyone had a good Mother's Day. I know Mother's Day is really hard for some people, and if it's hard for you, I'm so sorry that it is, and I hope that better days are ahead. I've had days. Facebook memories bring back memories. I always check my memories. Almost every day I check my memories. Because I have posts on there that have my daddy, and my mom wasn't alive when Facebook was here. But I have posts about my mom. And I have posts with my daddy and posts with my brother that's passed away. And, so I cherish the memories. The memories are what helps me survive. But I was on the memories, yesterday looking, and You know, my mom passed away in 1995, and a couple of my Mother's Day posts, not just yesterday, but the last week, because Mother's Day, the date varies. It's not always on the same day of the month of May. But a few of my Mother's Day posts that I've made through the years were really sad. And a couple of them, I said, I wish I could just skip Mother's Day. Wish we could just not have it, you know. And then I came to a realization when my kids was getting a little bigger. They weren't in that young age, and they were getting a little bigger. And I told myself, you know how you kind of got to pull yourself up by your bootstraps, even though you don't wear boots most of the time. And I said, you have children. You have to focus on your children. And Mother's Day needs to be a special day to share with your children. Yes, you can remember your mom, but try to remember positive things. And I would just drill that in my mind. I've got to remember all the good times and the positive things on Mother's Day. I can't be down in the dumps and sad all the time about my mom not being here. And so when I made that change, I was able to tolerate Mother's Day better. It's still, sometimes you have your moments, but for the most part, I don't dread it as much as I used to. This year, I took on a challenge that I probably won't volunteer for again. But I decided I made cookies. My pastor's wife insisted on giving me money to make them. But I didn't want her to do that, but she insisted. But, so they really were from the church. But I did make them, and I put them in cute little bags and had little stickers on the front. But it was work. Oh man, 75 cookies and stickers and bags, and I made the cookie dough, and then we baked away, and the first batch or so wasn't to my liking, so we had to tweak some stuff, and it's just one of them things. So it was a little stressful Saturday. Anytime you're doing it for someone else, you want it to be just right, and I'm one of them people. I have a hard time putting something out there that I'm not happy with. Yeah, I keep having to go on and on, in and out to make sure I'm not missing comments, because they don't seem to be working so good today. Yeah, it was a journey. But I think overall that it turned out good. And then we put them in baskets, and I had a young man from our church. He stood at the door, and he helped hand them out. And as the moms left, we always have a special gift from our mom, for the moms from the church. But this was a little extra. We went a little extra this year. So they got their little gift, and they got a cookie as they were leaving. I did sourdough chocolate chip cookies. Okay, so I got a little red in there, and I don't really want that red in there, so find the paint that I used to paint that with. I don't see it. Put it in a different spot. Yeah, it was, I had to make 3 batches of cookies, and because they weren't little, they were bigger. Tried to keep them bigger. A couple of them was a little smaller. But Madison, my daughter, came Saturday, and she helped me a little bit. And then my husband, she doesn't drive, and neither does her husband because of his health conditions. So my husband took them back home, and while I finished everything. And then on top of it all, y'all, I not only did that, but I put myself in this. I always do this to myself. It wasn't really necessary. It could have just done coloring sheets for the kids to give their moms, or let them made a simple little card. But no, Angie does frames. I made popsicle stick frames, and I didn't want them to paint them. So I pre-painted them because I was worried that they would get it on their clothes. And so I was exhausted. I was in so much pain Saturday night. I was almost in tears. My husband left to go take them home. And I went and took a hot shower trying to relieve the pain that I was in my back, cuz my body's not used to standing up all day long doing stuff like that. And so, needless to say, I got the frames done about 10 o'clock that Saturday night. And then I see a little, it never fails. You go from touching up the white, and you got white on the red, white on the red, and you got to touch up the red. So then after that, after I got the frames finished, because I had the frames assembled, I had their hanger, and all the kids were going to do was pick their design and put stickers on them. After I got done with that, I had to do our church bulletins. I should have done some of it earlier in the week, but there was so many other things going on, and the day I was planning on doing a lot of the prep, they were out there working on our power poles, and I didn't want to get started on something and the power would be out for a few hours. But I could have, because the power was only out for like an hour that day. And so far today, it's not been out yet. I don't think they're coming back today. They left, and I don't think they're coming back. So they swapped a whole pole and moved the stuff from it without my power going out. So I was like, wow. They have one more pole to change that's up above me. So, I don't know. But you know, this is how I look at it. Keeping these hands busy keeps this mind busy and keeps me from getting down in the dumps. And I think that's part of the reason I volunteered. Because if I'm busy, I'm not thinking about it. You know, you're not sitting there crying because you miss your mom. Or your kids. Because my kids are moved out now and I don't get to spend as much time with them. And y'all, he'd probably kill me if he knew I said this, but my husband was in tears. Because he misses our kids. Which I tried to tell him when they were younger. He was worried. Now I had a spray bottle. I don't know. I guess I won't do it that way. I don't know where my spray bottle is. I got a thing of water right here. We're going to use it to see these cute little designs. They're like angels. They're little. The group page says fairies/angels. I'm calling them angels. Some people might call them fairies, but they're little patriotic. And she has a ton of these on there. Different designs. So I'm just using a paintbrush, a clean paintbrush, dipping it in water and going around the design, and we're going to tear it out. It was a very busy day. And I told my husband, though, I said, I'm not volunteering for cookie making like this. I can't do it. Just can't do it. He kept saying, you should have never done this. You should have never done this. I said, oh, stop. I done it now. I don't need to hear you say that over and over. And then after church, he said, we'll go do whatever you want to do. Because my kids, Madison came Saturday and spent a few hours with us because she wasn't going to be able to come Sunday. So Hannah wasn't going to be able to come till later Sunday afternoon before she was going to make it here. So he said, we can go whatever you want to do. It's Mother's Day. We'll do whatever you want to do. If you want to go, he was going to cook here at home, and I talked him out of that. I said, babe, I really want to get out. I haven't been out very much. I want to go to a restaurant or something and sit down. If it's not too crowded. Because Mother's Day around here is crazy. So we have a new Mexican restaurant. And I was really had my mind set on going there. But it was already packed by the time we got there. So I said, you know what, I'm just so tired. Let's just go home. Well, then he says, we can't just go home. Because when I'm going to cook, I'm out of pellets for the pellet grill. We'll have to go get some pellets. So we go. I said, I'll tell you what, let's just see so when we was close to Subway. I was pulled in Subway. I said, they're not too busy. Let's just eat Subway. So we ate Subway. Whoops, there went my... I really don't want you in there. I water the stove. That's a lot of water, Angie. Let me get a paper towel. Didn't want to get that red paint all over my design. So we went to Subway for our Mother's Day meal. We sat down in Subway and ate our sandwiches, and then we went to the store to see if he could get pellets. And the store, our local little store, didn't have them, so he wouldn't have been able to get pellets anyway. I don't know if he thought he was supposed to get them today while he was in the bigger town close to us, but I bet he forgot with everything he's doing. They are. I just love them. I love these little designs. Now, I don't care that I'm like, again, Lori and I are a lot alike, and I love her tearing ruler, but I don't have one. Eventually, one of these days, I'm going to buy me one of them tearing rulers. So I just did this. It's not perfect, but you know, I'm not a perfect person either. So we're going to Mod Podge this on. And I don't know if y'all know, well, but with Plaid owns Mod Podge. Now I got a little, I wanted to touch that up. I'm glad I not put my brush away. Had a little spot there that was not right. Okay. So with Plaid, this is Mod Podge month. And so we've been, as Plaid creators, we've been doing a lot of Mod Podge projects. And when we do a project like that, they have opportunities for us to submit it for points. So I'll probably submit this, or submit it at least for the patriotic points, because you can get points for patriotic crafts too. Okay. So because Mom will keep my background white, I'm not really worried if there's a little white edge around my design. I'm just throwing stuff in the floor over here. Hello, Karen. Thank you for popping on. So up after me, I just want to remind you, I didn't go past who was after me when I was telling you the lineup for today. I am in an event with Vintage Country Crafting Group, and we started the event with Crafty's Car Love. We had Studio J Company. We had Lori Resiliently Crafting. We had Sparkle Mountain Creations, and we had Country Loving Market. And then me, and after me is Rowena May Inspired, and that's Kelly. And then we have Karen from White's Creative Designs. And we end the night with Marilyn and John from Done By Me. So if you are, I hope that you will participate and join and go and watch all these amazing creators. You can go to the Vintage Country Crafting Friends group. And all you gotta do is refresh your page and you pop up a new creator every hour. And so it's a wonderful, wonderful event, and I appreciate getting to be a part of it. Janice is a wonderful person, and she does these events, and sometimes, as you see, she's not even in today's event. So she's doing this to help us, and so I appreciate that very, very much. The time, because it is a time-consuming thing. You know, when you're hosting an event, you are on those creators' pages for most of the day. You're in there with them, trying to show your support, sending them out, and all the things. I'm going to put this right in here in the center. Now, I did not do the ironing technique. You can do that if you prefer. Sometimes if I get bubbles, I do go back and iron after I do this. I am going to go around my edges, and I'll probably coat the whole thing just because I'm doing this. But let me stress this part for anyone, most of you that are on here probably already know that you've heard me say this before. But if you use a print from your printer, I've tried lots of different things, and the best thing that works for me, and has been working for me, I'm going to put Mod Podge on the whole top. Even though this is matte, I'm like Lori, who said that it still leaves a little shine. So, just a little. If you get the super matte, I love it. I just can't get my hands on it unless I order it online, and I haven't done that. I'm hoping that Plaid will offer it to us as creators. You know, they have some for us to use points on, but it's not the super matte. It's just the matte and the glossy, and I want the super matte. Okay, but anyway, it does sometimes leave. You can tell where it was and where it wasn't, even though it's matte. It still leaves a distinct look to your design. So I do recommend, if you do it, just put your little coat, a thin coat, on your project, and it'll be all right. And I know some people prefer to make their own with glue and water, but I prefer Mod Podge. I've made it myself. I just prefer Mod Podge myself. But that's me. And I am a plaid creator, so. Okay, so I got a coat all over. I'll show y'all what it looks like. I'm going to dry it here in a second. See how cute? I just love these little designs. And then, I got 15 minutes. Maybe I can I don't know if I'll get the second one done, but I'm going to get it started. And I'll probably will, like Marilyn or John, one was saying, go back with my distressing and add a little bit of distressing. Just a little. Just a little. I don't want it to look dirty. It's not that, but I do sometimes like to add a little bit of distressing in there. And another thing is you could embellish this and put some old-fashioned, some little like buttons or some like some lace pieces and make you a little tassel. I mean, the options are just all kinds of possibilities. My husband set an alarm and it's in there going off and he left. I hear it going off. Okay, so I'm going to set this one down here. This is our other two designs for those that maybe popped on late. So I got that one is the boy. I'm going to do the little girl now. I probably won't make it to the third one. But if I get it done, I will post finished photos. I need to put a little more water. I don't know if y'all can hear that. You probably can't. We use the Alexa devices here in our house. We use them like an intercom system. We have them everywhere pretty much. And so anytime my husband takes a little nap or something, he'll set an alarm with it so he doesn't stay in that chair too long. So he has set an alarm and then he left before the alarm went off. And it's in there just blaring. Okay. Okay, so, well, that one's gonna, whoops. I gotta paint the outside part. I'm gonna decoupage that. No, I better paint this first. In case I get paint where I don't want it. Okay, that's my Mod Podge brush. Let's see. Find me another decent brush. Got my blue right here. I'm using folk art paint today. I have been so blessed by being a ply creator, y'all. I mean, I've got so much paint that I didn't have to pay for. It's just been amazing. I just got it where it ain't supposed to be. Oh well. I'll touch it up with some white. That alarm is driving me crazy. It really is. It's driving me crazy. Hold on. Alexa, stop. Sorry. I just had to tell her to stop that. It's driving me nuts. Hearing it go off. Uh-oh, something's making my nose itch. Sometimes I think I'm allergic to Mod Podge. Because I'll do a craft and I'll be fine after I decoupage if I get it on me. I'm itching. That's a scary thought. Hopefully it's never more than a little nose itching. Now, if I don't finish this, I will post finished photos. When I get them finished, I'll post finished photos so you can see. And I hope that this inspires you to try to do you a Mod Podge project. There's a gnat in here. Flying in my face. Y'all, we've had a lot of rain here. on and off. And it makes the gnats and the ants and everything a pain. We got all the stuff to do our pool for this summer, hoping that our kids will come enjoy it. And we haven't even been able to get it cleaned out good so we can get it filled up because of all the rain and the mud. We've already bought all our supplies to get it up and going. So Nora, are you moving? Is that... might have you mixed up with a different Nora. I think you're the one that's moving. So, as I said, up after me is Rowena May Inspired, and that's Kelly. And Kelly does beautiful crafts. You're going to love what she does, I'm sure. She's inspired me. Y'all, she did that quilt craft back at Christmas, and I was just dying to get my hands on some quilt. I finally got an older quilt from a friend, but it's really, really, really old. Some of it's unusable. It was just, it had been out in a shop or somewhere, and it kind of got damaged, and it was a very, very old, and I guess you would say is in a raggedy condition. But I did get to use it for a few, and I'm going to still be able to use more of it. I have it in a bag. I just got to get it out. But I started looking for quilted type fabric so that I can make quilt crafts because of Kelly. She got me on the quilt bandwagon. In fact, a quilt pieces. Yes, I love the cutter quilts. Yes, are cuter. Is that the ones you can cut up? You know, stars and stripes. If you could find the right kind of quilts, you could make some cute projects for Patriotic with quilts too, not just Christmas time. I found a couple pillow shams that were quilted like material, but they're not really quilts. They have like a quilting texture, I guess is what you would say. I made bunny rabbits with those and made me a couple different designs with bunnies. But that's what we're here to do. Try to inspire one another. See somebody do something. If you see me do something and you do it, it's not going to hurt my feelings at all. At all. That's why I do what I'm doing. Hoping that I can inspire you to try something to make for yourself. We do love when you tell people that you got inspired by us. But I'm not one of them people that's going to get mad. If you forget to do that. Again, this blue is pretty bright. I might tone it down with a little bit of distress ink or something. Because it's pretty bright. Yeah. I got 5 minutes. I don't know that I'm going to get this one done. If I decide to do more embellishing on these or something, I might save it and do it on the live and not finish it today. I need to do more, or do a reel maybe. I might do a reel or a pre-recorded video finishing it. So this is Vintage Country Crafting Group, and up after me is Kelly from Rowena May Inspired, and then up after her is Karen from White's. I'll make sure I say Karen's page right. I know it. Creative Designs, and then after Karen is Marilyn and John from Done by Me. We get that live brain, and we know these pages like the back of our hand, but that live brain gets in the way. That's why I always try to keep me a note close by so I can remember and glance at that and help me to say it right. Because I want to support my fellow creators. Okay, I got a coat on there, so let's dry that real quick. I need a paintbrush there in case I want to touch something up. I'm bad about just throwing my paintbrush in the water and then I need it again. I'm trying to tell myself not to do that. I got some in the white, so I'll have to go back and touch up the white before we put our little picture. And this is the picture that's going to go inside our star. And if you were late popping on, here's our first one. And like I said, I'm probably going to do some embellishing to it and distressing to it as well. Just not going to be able to get it done on the live. You do the same thing, Karen? I think we all do. We all do. Gotta have them little notes to help remind us, because this brain right here is 54 years old. 54 years old. Sometimes it don't work. I had someone recently that was telling me that they said that we was talking about why do you lose as we age, do we forget so much stuff, and they said, listen, your brain can only hold so much information, and as you get older, it's got to let go of things. It's going to let go of things because it can't store any more stuff. And so that's what I try to remind myself. My brain's letting go of stuff. It thinks it's not necessary. I know my 60, yeah. Yeah. It doesn't get any better. So here at Crafty Blessings, I try to end every live with this simple phrase behind me, and it says, be a blessing. Who can you uplift, encourage, or inspire? That's what we're here for. We want to encourage you. The simple thing of being kind and saying hello and smiling and have a nice day to the people at the grocery store, the people at the bank, at the fast food place, even if they mess up your order, can be such a blessing. And so I hope you have a great day. And go see Kelly at Rowena May Inspired, and go to the Vintage Country Crafting Friends group and join. And have a great day. God bless y'all, and I'll see you again.